Okay, just good morning everyone. My name's Kurt from Cadgroup. Just a quick, please guys, just let me know if you can hear me at the moment. Getting the bits and pieces going, so just let me know guys. If everyone can hear, just a quick chat or a signal through the chat would be fine. Okay, we've got a couple there, sort of let me know they can hear me, so that's good. Thanks guys, welcome all aboard. Again, welcome to the Advance Steel. So I'm just going to talk about sort of the workflows that we can sort of work through in Advance Steel itself. Quick intro on myself. So again, my name's Kurt Jones. I'm the product manager here at Cadgroup. Been with these guys for 15 years now. So the main focus is obviously with the workflows today with the Advance Steel. Okay. So the agenda, guys, first workflows we're going to look at is from Advance Steel through the Revit and back again. Okay. Then we're going to have also look at the interoperability between Advance Steel and Plant 3D. Also then have a close look at Navisworks from Advance Steel, Inventor equipment as well. That's how we're going from Inventor into Advance Steel, and also quick some of the promotions that are currently going at the end there as well, guys, and any Q&As at the end. So what I'll do, guys, I'll continue on. So the idea is we'll go through a few points from the PowerPoint, but also there'll be some live demonstrations as well as we go through. All right, guys, happy for you to just drop some questions during the process. Just type some questions out, and I'll unmute everybody at the end, hopefully, and we can all have a chat if necessary, guys. Okay. All right. So the first sort of area we're going to have a closer look at is obviously going from Revit to Advance Steel, and the synchronization that we'll get between those two applications, between our workflows. Okay, so a couple of things before you get started with the Advanced Steel side of things, or more so on the Revit side. Advanced Steel has no prerequisites, the tool's already on board, whereas inside Revit, we need to at least get the Advanced Steel extension, which is downloadable from the App Store, guys, at the Revit App Store. So again, if you just do a quick Google down the bottom, you can see the Google address there. Again, I'll give some more information out to you guys if you want to quickly find that a bit more. So it's a small download and a quick install, and you'll get the Revit or the Advanced Steel extension in your Revit add-ins tab. Okay. So the first sort of step there, I'll go briefly through the process, and then we'll go into a bit of a live demo on top of that. Okay. So first of all, from outside of Revit itself, from our structural model inside Revit, we'll export through the add-ins an SMLX file. Okay, we'll import that SMLX file into Advanced Steel to start with. Okay, then we'll look at then essentially we'll look at also the bidirectional workflow we can get between using the SMLX and synchronizing between those different applications as well at the same time. So again, there's a bidirectional workflow that we can work with there, and I'll go through and show you all those sort of methods and bits and pieces. Okay, so the next step there, guys, we'll just drop into Revit. Okay. All right, so we've got our structural model that's been built up in Advanced Steel at this particular stage. And basically from there, guys, we'll go and have a quick look at the outputs and bits and pieces. So just to start it off, just a simple model to work with, a bit of structure, a bit of concrete. So from the add-ins tab, okay, there's our Advanced Steel extensions that inside there. So from here we can export and import all our different settings and bits and pieces. So the idea from here, guys, is what we're going to do is just do a simple export, start off first. Okay, through the dialog there, we'll export, and we're basically going to create the SLMX, or Steel Markup Language file, that we're going to use as our file format to go between the two different programs at this particular point. Okay, so I'll just save that one there at the moment. Okay, so I'm going to now just drop into Advanced Steel. So from our Export and Import tab, you can see up the top left there, we've got our Import, Export, Synchronized. These are the SMLX file formats that we're going to be working with. So as I go into Import, we're going to go and grab that SMLX we just exported out from Revit itself. Okay, so when you first bring your sections through, typically the first time you bring those elements through, you need to map the sections in. Okay, once these sections are mapped, those sections are then recorded in the Advanced Steel databases. Okay, so it's always important in the first start of the process is to get the right sections mapped to the right elements. Okay. In this case here, what I've done, I've removed one of the sections, but not all of the sections. So straight away, we've been able to bring in those particular steel sections from there. So you see straight away, it's picked up the section types, the steel structures from the Revit as well at the same time. Okay. So from here, we can start to do start to work on in an early phase, work on essentially the model itself. So from simple connections, putting in things like base plates and elements such as that, and we can copy those around and continue to work with some of those elements in there. So essentially, using some of the advanced steel tools, we can start to kind of work on our construction side of things, more or less. So again, let's go in there and copy a few of the elements around that we're after. So some base plates on some of the elements. So straight away, I'm just using the advanced steel joints straight off the Revit members that have been imported in. Okay, so I'll throw a few of those down for now. Now, more importantly, too, what can happen as well is that the Revit model might be still in its sort of fundamentals at this particular stage. So the idea is that from there we need to move. There might be further work that's done from the architectural, the engineering side of things on the actual structural model. Okay, so in this case here, I'm just going to quickly go and do an array and just add some more purlins in there at this stage. So quite using some of the basic Revit functionality, guys. So not my area of expertise, but not too hard to kind of quickly go and work out. So I'll drop in 8 of those guys. Okay. And we're happy with that so far. So what the idea is from here is now we need to synchronize those changes back to our advanced steel model. Okay, so the process to go with that, I'll just quickly save my Revit. We again just export an XMLS file straight back out. Okay, from Revit with the later update. So I might just put a -2 second version of that particular file. Okay, asking me to want to save. I'm just going to ungroup my purlins there. So now back into Advanced Steel, what we want to do there essentially is come up to the Synchronize tab this time. So we're going to grab that secondary and load that secondary XMLX file that I put out. Okay. Straight away, it'll go and highlight all the changes that have kind of occurred in this particular changes in those members, adding extra members in there. So you can filter out different changes and different elements in there. So again, you see appended or modified or deleted components. So I'm just going to go to the modify and apply the filter on that. So I can basically just bring in some of those elements in there. So essentially what I'm after in this case here is just I'm not worried about the plates as well. So if I bring in the plates, I'll leave the plates deliberately ticked on at this stage, just saying that the plates are different to what was in the original Revit model, which were the plates that I added in my joint. So I'm just going to actually leave that on at this point just to show you some of the things that will happen in that circumstance when you've done extra work. So then we go and apply all the actions to our model. Okay, so straight away it gives me, hang on a second, confirm some changes. So some of these parts that were different from my model to the Revit model, which are the plates, were essentially a part of a joint. It says, oh, hang on, you don't want to modify this. I'm going to say no to all of those so it doesn't take my plates away at this particular point. So straight away you can see those purlins are now being synchronized into my Advanced Steel model. Okay. So the last sort of step in here, or a few other steps, we can go in there and put further connections in and more elements in this. So I'm just going to go and throw some quick shear plates between a couple of members just to quickly knock them down. Okay, so I might go and grab, I'll go to my library there, guys. So rather than go through all my settings at this particular point, I'm just going to grab a standard pre-formatted settings from my library. Again, we can copy those joints around. All right, so straight away I'm just going to copy them between a few of the members there, just to drop it in. Okay. Grab them again. So again, added a couple of shear plates through those particular ones. Make sure I get the right ones, guys. So again, just adding some shear plates for that member there to the other side. So again, you can go and add those particular columns in. Okay. So from this particular point here, we then can actually send some of the changes that we make inside our Advanced Steel model also back to the Revit model. So there might be the engineer might be working on the detailed side of things where they've made some changes and bits and pieces. So I'm going to just go and move some members and copy some extra members in from the Advanced Steel side. So we've now added extra plates through our connections. I'm just going to go and throw a couple of extra members in there as well. I've moved that one down. I'm also going to copy another member across down as well. Okay, so through our changes and also one through the middle there. So we've made a couple more changes to our model, and we can actually synchronize this back to our Revit model as well. Okay, so first step in there, guys, we just need to go and run a number before I do any of that. So just run my numbering scheme. So I'm going to just quickly define some of the default ones that are in there. Number of my items. Okay, inside in there. Just quick save on that as well. All right, what we're going to do here is now export out an SMLX file from our drawing, from our Advanced Steel model at this particular point, into our Revit model. So we'll call it the Advanced Steel model at this stage, and then we'll move across. Okay, back to Revit. So now what we're going to do is synchronize and bring in some of those joints that we've applied there inside Advanced Steel, and also the rearranging of some of those members as well that we've done on the back side, back into Revit. So you can see we're getting that bidirectional link and workflow, and choosing carefully the elements that you do. So what we're going to do again back now from Revit was going to synchronize the Advanced Steel model. Okay, so again we go back and we'll load the SMLX file. Okay, it'll highlight all the changes. So again, what I'm going to do here is I'm not going to bring any of the modified ones in there. I'll just bring in the essentially the beams and plates that have been changed in that particular circumstance. So let's just apply all of those actions. Okay, one of the members just needs to remap back inside Revit. That's a quick change there, and okay. All right. Okay. A couple of identical instances, guys. A couple of those ones I've modified where I shouldn't have, but it's giving me the warnings on that. Okay, so now you can see those extra members have been put in there. You can see the base plates that have come in as well. Okay, and there's also part of our shear plate connection will be in there as well. So what you're going to see is we're not getting the bolts and the holes, but we're definitely getting the plate information back into the Revit model. So again, the architect or the engineers can essentially check and confirm and work through those particular workflows there, guys. So what I'm going to do there now is just shut down the Revit there, guys, and drop back to the PowerPoint for a moment just to go through some of the advantages, that sort of stuff. Okay. So some of the advantages of sort of starting to initiate some of these workflows. A lot of them come in from just basically obviously getting just clean transfers between Revit and Advanced Steel for starters. So you're getting these nice direct transfers of information. So it's saving you on drawing up concrete and all the members and stuff straight out of the structural model. Okay, so getting a reduction in time, and it's essentially again just saving money through redraws and elements as such as like that as well. Okay. Obviously, your detailing, like the steel detailer, can be involved a bit earlier, more earlier in the process, because things can be synchronized a whole lot better. Okay, so again, the detailer will have a little bit more time or scope, hopefully, or again, be just more efficient in getting the project finished. Okay, clashes, can start to be sort of recognised earlier in the process as well through returning your Advanced Steel model back to the architectural model. Okay. So you just essentially overall you're getting better collaboration between all the the users essentially by implementing these workflows. Obviously we can then here also Advanced Steel is also opening up the window there through Revit and so on. So you can hear to sort of dim mandates and building projects as well. Okay. All right. So the next sort of step there, guys. Let me just have a look now. Work through the plant 3D process and Advanced Steel as well again. So we've got a sort of a workflow that allows us to take the steel model from Advanced Steel and into Plant 3D. So again, some prerequisites, guys, before you start. So from Plant, Advanced Steel will need the object nailer for Plant, just some of the Plant elements. You're going to see bringing in information from different areas. Okay, so again, you can just Google the Plant 3D object enablers again, guys. Again, I can just send you some more specific links if anyone needs that a bit later on. Okay. On top of that, Advanced Plant 3D will need the object steel enablers as well. Okay, so again, you can Google where the object enabler Advanced Steel. All right. So the workflow. So from Plant, what we can do there essentially is export out the SMLX file. Okay, again, same format that we were using from Revit. And from Revit, we can go into essentially we can import, from Plant, we can import the SMLX file into Advanced Steel. Okay, so the next step there is obviously we can go and add all our connections and do everything we need to do inside the Advanced Steel model. Okay, and this can be XREF back into the Plant project. All right, we'll go through this process and have a closer look. But also, being both AutoCAD-based applications, we can also XREF Plant equipment that's been drawn up in Plant 3D back to Advanced Steel, so we can also check for clashes in a bidirectional sort of workflow there as well. Okay, so obviously from Advanced Steel, we can then start to look at obviously all our structural detail information, our bill of materials, our reports, our shop details, and so on. And still, all that information can also then be incorporated into the drawing information also for Plant 3D. Okay. So again, let's go through a workflow demonstration. Bear with me a second there, guys, and I'll just get a couple of applications up and running. Stop the desktop for a second. So what I'll do there is get Plan up and running. Just bear with me. Just want to get while that's going, we'll shut this one down. And start at just a new blank. There, so just give it a moment, guys, and I'll get Plant up and going. Okay, so what I'm just going to quickly go in here inside Plant 3D, guys. I'm just going to go and open up an existing Plant 3D model where someone's gone and done their pipe runs and done their conceptual steel layout inside Plant 3D. Okay, inside the project. I'll just get back to a shaded view, might be a bit clearer. So you can see at the moment, inside our plant structure there, we've got our equipment, our piping, we've got our steel, our structure in concrete and steel and platforms. So I'm just going to open up the steel section to start with. So the idea is that I want to first of all just get the initial steel concept across to Advanced Steel, so we can start putting on our connections and details. So again, underneath the structure tab in inside Plant 3D, I can export out to an XML file again. Okay, so again, just nominating a location for this one. So again, let's call this one, again, give the file name in there inside our project location. Go and grab the object you want to take across. So I'm just going to grab the main steel structure, okay, and export that SMLX file out at this particular point. Okay, just give that a moment to complete the structure. I'll shut that one down for the moment. Go back to our main model. So the next step there, guys, I'm just going to initially go back into the plant, into Advanced Steel, and now let's import our new structure. So again, similar process is done at the start of this one. I've already pre-mapped the sections from inside, excuse me, from plant to inside Advanced Steel. So we don't have any sort of issues in mapping this particular point. But the first time you do that, guys, you will have to map, as I did with one of the elements there inside the structure as well. So again, back inside Advanced Steel, we can go and start to look at a few different sort of add some of the tools. I'm just going to go and quickly create a bit of a work area there for a moment, guys, just to work with, just to reduce some of the volume structure on screen for you guys. Okay, we'll keep that at low. I might just toggle off the rest of those objects. Alright, so I'm just going to focus on the front half of the building at this particular point inside Advanced Steel. So again, it's a matter of just applying all your joints that you've got through Advanced Steel to all the elements. So we're going to use obviously Advanced Steel to do all our structural connections. Okay, so first up, we're going to go in there and run the base plate on our first item. Okay, then we're going to copy those out. We grab that, obviously apply that to all the other columns that we need inside the assembly here. So again, I'll just focus on the main structure here at the moment. Okay. All right. So from this particular point, we now sort of wanted to start to work at, inside our actual. Okay, so we started to do a bit of detailing inside our Advanced Steel project, but first of all, let's just bring this into our plant project at this particular point. So let's drop back into our plant for suite at the moment. So through the XREF there, we've got the steel, the original steel connection still in the plant project. So I'm actually just going to detach this one at this point. Okay, what I'm going to do there now is just going to attach our Advanced Steel project. Okay. Actually, want bear with me for a minute, because make sure I got the naming conventions right there. Bear with me one moment. I stuck that in the wrong location, guys, so bear with me. I'll just quick do a save as. Get that where I need it to be. Okay, so the process is slightly different here. So what we're doing, because we're using the AutoCAD-based workflow, is we can actually attach this as an XREF into our Advanced Steel model. Okay, because my original steel structure, I don't have to worry. I can use the default location. So straight away, we've now got the XREF inside our model. There's our base plates inside our plant model at this particular point. Okay, so from there, I'm just going to drop back into Advanced Steel. So the idea is that we can now work a bit more, with synchronous or bidirectional between the two applications. So the idea is I can continue to add further connections in my Advanced Steel model by using the XREF capabilities that will then dynamically update in my plant model as well. So the idea is just adding some shear plates in. So the idea is just go and add a few connections here at this point. Okay, and we'll copy those connections around. So you can see straight away that we can go and grab those columns, grab those connections. So again, with a quick save inside my Advanced Steel model. Okay, and drop back to our plant model. Just do a quick refresh on the XREF. You can see straight away, notice that there has been a change in the Advanced Steel model, so I can just quickly do a reload on my XREF on that. And now those connections have also come into our Advanced Steel model as well. Okay, sorry, our plant model. So you kind of start to see how we can XREF from obviously Advanced Steel into plant, and vice versa. The idea is that the detail could also bring in some of the plant equipment into Advanced Steel using exactly the same functionality. So I could run an XREF command there at the moment to bring in and just attach some of the plant equipment. So let's go in there, and maybe we'll grab the concrete in first from the plant model. Okay. All right, so we've brought in our concrete from our plant, and then same thing with some of the equipment. We want to check for clashing and elements within the equipment within Advanced Steel from the plant model. Same scenario again, attach, and I'll go and grab the equipment from the plant as well. And we'll bring that in again at uniform. So again, we can start to see where we've got any clashing issues, or what we need to avoid, or what we're interfering with between that and Advanced and Plant 3D and Advanced Steel. So again, that nice AutoCAD workflow that you can work nicely between the two applications there, and go hand in hand. So on the documentation side of things, this stuff can also come into our drawing documentation. So I'm just going to do a quick general GA on this one at the moment. So I'm going to quickly change my UCS to the view, and let's go and quickly grab a simple drawing or a general GA view at this particular point. So I'm going to grab that one there. Might increase my scale to hopefully get it fit on the paper a bit better. Go on an A0 and OK. So you can see this is the Advanced Steel, but we still incorporate the geometry from plant into our documentation as well. So I'm just going to go to my document manager there for a moment. Okay, and we'll sort of have a quick look at the drawing and it's gone in and created there. Okay, a little bit just off the page, but you can see all the plant equipment essentially also gets incorporated in those GA views. Okay. So again, working between those two different applications is a very nice, obviously just using the XREF functionality, we can get a nice sort of interoperability workflow between those two. Okay. So from the next step there, guys, I'm just going to shut down plant. Start to look at some of the other applications and areas that we can go for. So also, the advantages again. So we're getting we can get in early on the process and start to detail and work with the plant designers as such as well. Okay, again, saving time and money on redrawing of your structures and stuff in Advanced Steel. So a lot of the time when you go into other applications, you're not going to have as easy transfer of information and models as such. Okay, obviously we're going to get updates immediately with the XREF functionality from the models, from both bidirectional from plant and also back into Advanced Steel. Okay, the documentation also incorporates obviously the steel into the plant documentation and vice versa. Okay, the plant information can be included into the Advanced Steel documentation as well. Okay, so we get a nice continuous collaboration between those two applications there as well. Okay, so the next step there, guys, is just going to look at the workflow, a simple output into Navisworks and the information that we can kind of get from that as well. So quite simply there, guys, it's just a matter of just hitting the Export to Navisworks button inside Advanced Steel. Okay, and it'll fire up Navisworks for us. Now, as I go through the workflow, it might be the best way to kind of show and demonstrate that one there. So again, we'll drop back into Advanced Steel again, guys. Shut down the wrong application there before. One moment. Okay, let's get Advanced Steel fired back up. So what I'll do is I'll just open up an established model here at this particular point. Okay, so I'll go in there, we'll just go and grab an existing model. All right, so from our Export and Import tab, quite simply to get this data out. So let's have a closer look, and we'll focus just a bit more on one of the front columns there, just to have a look at the information in the particular model. So if you go in there and notice that it's got steel assigned to this particular one, I'm going to go put a galvanized coating on it. We can set that also that under our naming there, it's already got part numbers and essentially the assembly numbers assigned to it as well. Okay. So from that, we can go in there and just go to our Export and Import tab, and this is, again, collaboration with other users, so putting Advanced Steels into larger projects through Navisworks, essentially. So quite simply, guys, create a DWF file, which you can just send the DWF file to the other customers. Oops, bear with me a second. There we go, guys, so I get that up and running again. Get that one quickly out there now anyway. So essentially we'll just send that process there out to Navisworks, so straight away creates the DWF. And then we'll send that across through, and automatically it'll fire up the Navisworks there for me. So we'll have a quick look at that model inside that part. So these can obviously be used in larger projects and information by just in collaboration. So again, we'll have a look at the Navisworks model. So again, just having a look at that column in particular that we're looking at, you see we've got the part number, we've got the assembly number come through. Okay, we've got some material information and the galvanized information there as well that we put in through the model. Okay, so you can see we can quite easily just go through different elements and members and choose and find out what what's related to those particular members and so on. So you can get quite a lot of information go through to Navisworks for the whole entire model and be incorporated into other larger scale projects. Okay. In the last step there, guys, I'm just going to fire up now Inventor as well. I'm just going to look at just bringing equipment across from Inventor into your Advanced Steel model as well. Go again. Got any applications running, guys, that I'll just stick to the minimum. Alright, so we're not getting Inventor fired up. So from this last stage of Inventor there, guys, while Inventor's up and running, I'll just drop back into the PowerPoint for a moment. Okay. Again, just looking at the process to get us from our plant and equipment. Ideally, what we can do there is look at bringing Inventor data. So quite typically, Inventor's made of lots of components. So ideally, what you want to do is probably, if you're going to bring a piece of equipment across to Advance Steel, first just derive that inside Inventor as well. Then quite simply, we can export a SAT file or a step and import that directly straight into Advance Steel. And again, it incorporates as part of your drawings and elements. And again, you can obviously work around your model as well from that particular point. So again, if a customer started from drawing a lot of your equipment up inside Inventor, which is probably a better tool for some of those particular applications, and then we can obviously quickly incorporate that into Advance Steel. So let's just drop into Inventor this time. Application. So I'm going to start off in a small assembly inside Inventor. Okay, so just got a little blower frame assembly in here. So from the blower frame there, guys, essentially all I need to do, as I talked about, Inventor has sort of like a large multiple part scale. So if I export the SAT straight from here, I'm going to end up with like lots of multiple components inside Advanced Steel. So you want to give them a bit more simplified sort of design. So what I'm going to do there inside Inventor is start off a new component and go and derive in my assembly. Okay, so I'm just bringing all those components in as essentially one single component. And from that single component here, I can now output the SAT file that we can then import into our Advanced Steel assembly as well. So again, I'll just go in there and, excuse me, just go to a Save Copy As inside Inventor. We can change that over to a SAT file format. Give that a name, so I'll call it our Inventor part assembly. All right, output the SAT. So quite simply back inside Advanced Steel. You can run just the import command. All right, we'll grab our Inventor part file and import that SAT file. Okay. So you can see down the bottom there, just a matter of quickly sort of rotating and rearranging and placing that part in our assembly. And we've incorporated our Inventor file. So that's just a one directional sort of process that we're looking at there. Okay, so it obviously doesn't go bidirectional back through to Inventor, and it's not associated with the Inventor model, so if that blower does change, the SAT file hasn't changed, so we'd have to replace that particular file using the same process again. Okay. So that sort of concludes the Inventor workflow there, guys. The last sort of step I wanted to go through, there are a couple of really good promotions out there at this particular point. So just for Advanced Steel itself, there's 35% off desktop subscriptions and on annual multi-year and also perpetual licenses for the Advanced Steel. So it makes it quite affordable to get in there and start using the product. Okay. There's also a secondary promotion there as well for users that might want to go, might want Plant 3D and also Advanced Steel throughout their organisation. So if you're purchasing both, there's a 40% discount also available for those on desktop and perpetual licenses on that one as well. Okay. So probably the last step there, guys, is just I'll open up so hopefully everyone can hear and ask any questions. Otherwise, guys, I've noticed a couple of questions there that have come through the thing there at the moment, so I'll quickly answer those anyway. There's someone's asking if the webinar's been recorded. Yes, it's been recorded, so we'll put that up and make that available for everyone. The other step is importing point cloud data, and yes, we can. Again, just using Recap, quite simply we can bring in point cloud data. So again, indexing that in, it's using the same technology that's in behind AutoCAD. So again, quite simply the same way AutoCAD brings in the recap files after they've been indexed, you can do the same in Advanced Steel. Okay, so again, you can determine what's going on there, guys. Is there any further questions there, guys? I'll see if I can open this thing up. Bear with me, and I'll allow the audience in. Bear with me a second, guys. See if I can unmute you all. All right, guys, having a few issues there at the moment, but anyone online there, guys, if you want to quickly type in a question, I can read that question out and answer that question at this particular point. While I'm doing that there, guys, I'll also try and basically get everyone
muted.
Can people hear me still? Sorry guys, is there any questions out there? Sorry guys, there's a bit of sort of background in there at the moment. So again guys, type any questions in there before we wind this one up. Okay, I'm here to get a little bit of background there, noise guys, that's about it at this stage. There appears to be no further questions coming in at this stage guys, so I'm quite happy to wind this one up. Again, just any further questions guys, you're more than welcome to contact me at Cadgroup or on sort of any of the questions as well. I can look after any other queries. You can see that just my email's up on there as well if you just want to drop me an email as well. Again, I'll make this available as well after the recording, guys. But thank you all for attending and listening. You got a bit of information out of that. All right, thanks, guys.